Where's your game, bro?
The city of Greyhop is abuzz with fear and the spirit of revolution as news struck the people of this city with extreme alarm that a settlement on the outskirts had been utterly annihilated with a nuclear device that was detonated by wizards and DBs that came from a rift.
Mhm.
The King Regent has been besieged all day with highly charged criticisms of incompetence and traitorous leniency towards aliens and
Hmm.
anything that has come from another dimension. And a mob surrounds the Capitol building. And as you make your way slowly through it on your motorcycle beneath the beginnings of an orange sunset, you can see his guards trying to hold back the most aggressive of them at the large double doors, and they seem terrified and outmatched.
Hmm.
Prior to getting this point, you can see coalition soldiers everywhere directing traffic,
Hmm.
and kind of bringing a certain calm to the city. But you do notice that there are none here, where the mob is the most violent.
Hmm.
And you're on your motorcycle,
Yeah.
um, and your objective is allegedly an allegedly abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of the city, but still
Okay.
within the protective walls.
All right.
On the other side of a river, which flows through part of the city. A second tip from the bartender that works and operates beneath where your apartment is, a second
Hmm.
weapons deal. You
Hmm.
were told two customers he had never seen before sat at the dark corner table of his bar, mentioned plain as day the location, mentioned a weapons deal, and they repeatedly said over and over again that they'd be committing lots of crime.
Hmm. What time is it?
The sky is orange and pink, and the
Ah,
sun is
right.
setting.
Right. Okay.
You got about a 5-minute drive on bike to where you are. You are familiar with the warehouse
Okay.
that is being discussed here. It's derelict, abandoned. It's on the other side of a river, just past the bridge. There's nothing else there,
Hmm.
and it's very unkept, abandoned, and the whole area. Not just the warehouse, but it's not as pristine as other parts of the city, despite it being an industrial city.
Okay. I'm gonna try to get there as soon as I can. I'm not gonna kill myself but riding the bike. So I'm just gonna start off kind of at a little better clip once I get out of the throng. Um, I try to watch the guards holding back the throng. Um, I'm trying to ascertain. So the crowd is upset with the king because he let the.
They're losing trust in him very quickly,
Okay.
with lots of crime and things that have kind of taken over the city,
Mhm.
and now news that wizards and DBs just destroyed a settlement on the outskirts that's been being broadcast all day today, all day yesterday on the news.
Okay.
The city is just really up in arms. So he's been taking a lot of political heat to the point that he's got kind of a riot going on outside of his Capitol building.
Mm, okay. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and head to the warehouse. Just make a note of that, and I'm gonna try to find a place where I can watch it from a distance. But I'm probably gonna once you said I'm familiar with it, so when I get about a maybe a few blocks from it, I'm gonna try to find a place to stash my bike somewhere and wait till nightfall and don the cowl.
Well, on your motorcycle, it's an uneventful. After you get through the mob, everything else is kind of operating as is. When you get to the bridge that crosses the river, there's a little bit of traffic congestion
Hmm.
where some coalition soldiers are gradually letting traffic through. They're checking some cars, et cetera, et cetera.
Mhm.
On a motorcycle, and able to kind of weave through the traffic, they actually, after a little while, point you out and just wave you right through.
Okay.
And that is pretty much the only event that happens from the Capitol building to where you want to get to.
Okay.
After you do roll up the road and take a left that kind of follows the river towards this warehouse, there's less buildings and it's more long, unkept grass that's partially hiding like leftover equipment and just concrete tubes and things like that. Just that
Mm,
looks like it's been there for years.
Tubes big enough to hold a motorcycle?
Yes, easily.
Well, let me find one of those and just kind of wander in that. And if I can, look around, make sure nobody's really looking. I'm going to try to slide my bike. Hopefully, there'll be large grass is tall enough, maybe even hide the bike as I slide it into one of those steel, or sorry, concrete tubes or whatever's
Well,
there.
as you approach this warehouse that you can see, just a lone building near the river, same sort of terrain all around it, long unkept grass, some rolling hills. You easily find a large cylinder made of concrete, bunkered away in the long grass, surrounded by other pieces, some of them vertical, some of them horizontal, and very quickly and easily find a place to hide your motorcycle.
Okay. I
And
Go ahead. Yeah,
it's getting dark quickly.
perfect. All right. I go inside, I lay it down, I don black garb. It's time to get serious.
As the sun sets, right as you put on your mask, all of a sudden you feel more alert. You feel like you can hear little noises better than you could before, and you just have a sense of invincibility that washes completely over you. The sun falls behind the horizon, and it's a very waning, small moon in the sky. It doesn't really give a lot of light anywhere. And there's no streetlights or anything on this side of the river. On the other side of the river, you can see the city and all of its industrial glory. And this side, very um, desolate, remote, unkept, and you have eyes on this warehouse.
Perfect. I move forward, staying low to the ground from um, pieces of detritus to others. Make sure that I cover myself as I move forward. I do have my boomerang with me. I also have a um, gun in the back, just a standard. Uh, no, because I have a submachine gun. I have that in the back. My boomerang ready and a hammer. I'm coming. I'm about to wreck this place. I want to find out what's going on. I'm tired of this guy. And so who's uh, there were no signs though. The guys at the bar, they didn't tell me they were in any way connected to that guy that I chased off that was making deals with those low life scumbags, right?
He didn't have any details about that. He said they were very specific about the location and very specific about committing lots of crime.
No,
Um,
time to stop this crap. All right. I saunter up and I look at I try to stop maybe if I can 30 yards or so from the main warehouse. I'm going to watch for a few minutes. Are there any lights on? Is it dark? Is it a long warehouse or is it sort of broad to the street?
you can see that you're on the short side of a longer rectangular warehouse. And as you creep through this long grass and come up about 30, you can actually get even closer to that because
Okay.
between the long grass and the warehouse is about a 30-foot broken concrete road that leads down. Again, the concrete hasn't been replaced in decades, and it's just slabs all over the place. But there's weeds growing out of it and grass. But from what you can tell, there is nothing going on here at all. You don't
Mm.
see any lights. You don't see any lights inside the warehouse.
Windows to the side where I could get up close with the tall grass or anything blocking. So perhaps I could peek into
There
it.
are windows. Yep, there are windows.
I try to move inconspicuously, quietly. I activate my night vision, and that's a psionic power. And I move forward to where I can get to one of the windows. If they're low enough, I'll just peek in. If I have to, I'll kind of do a pull up and peek up
So
over.
stealthily creeping over the road, you get to probably a 10-foot area where there's grass growing up right on the side of the warehouse. You make your way through that. The window is at head level, so you can peek inside.
Okay.
And as your psionic night vision kicks in, the whole world just illuminates, and you can see inside that it looks completely empty except for in the middle. Make a perception check.
Okay. I'm sorry. All right. This is a D20, correct?
Yep.
According to my number, it didn't look like a percentage modifier, just a number. So, holy crap. Oh, I changed dice. Nothing.
So looking in, you can see what looks like a couple tables and some other different. There's just like looks like there's clutter, but it's all centered in the very center of the warehouse. The rest of it looks absolutely barren. There isn't even. It actually looks like it has a new sort of asphalt garage type glossy floor. But there isn't anything else except for in the very center of this room.
Only light can pierce the darkness. And I look along the edges of the window. Do I see any obvious booby traps? Do I see anything electronic in terms of a trap or an alarm that I could? Because I want to flip this window open if I can.
You don't see anything.
Oh, easy. They're as dumb as they are evil. And I flip up the window, and I'm gonna scoot right on in.
All right. The window opens up pretty easily. It almost breaks. Not because you had to apply a lot of force, just because it's so rotten on the outside that it almost seems to break as you open it. And you go right inside.
Slide right in. If I can, I'm just gonna roll through the window and just kind of, I'm gonna.
As you roll in, all of a sudden, these giant hanging lights at the top of dangling from the ceiling start going off one after the other, all the way down the warehouse. As they do, your night vision just flashes white in like this blinding light that you can barely see.
If I can shut it off, I will.
You can.
I reach for the boomerang, and I'm going to go for the first light. I'm going to try to
right above you.
The one that's close, the first one that came on. I'm going to try to just shut it down with the boomerang.
Roll the strike.
All right, come on. No more stinking wands. Holy crap! 7. That's my modifier.
So as you turn your night vision off, you throw the boomerang up. It goes up and smashes against the ceiling, and then comes back down to the floor with a little bit of debris, harmless debris. It just kind of coats you in like this plastery white dust that fell from the ceiling.
Okay, so I roll into the center of the room. I do a roll, and I look around. I want to see if anyone's there, if that was just an automatic movement based. I mean, to have any chance, I'm looking for any kind of red lights along the edge, anything that would show me that there was a movement detector as I came in.
So you roll towards the front of the middle of the room, and as you get closer to it, you can see that there are 2 tables squared against each other, with things on top of them, and there is a jet black motorcycle parked on the other side, opposite of one of the tables. So if you were to come in from the other side, it would be, a table here, bike here, with just a little opening. And it's the only things that are in this massive warehouse that are now completely illuminated under bright, powerful lights.
Okay, I'm going to take my a submachine gun. Can you fire one bullet at a time? Pop, pop.
I'm not sure, but we'll just say you can, yeah.
I'm going to attempt to just shoot the lights out. Pop, one at a time. Boom, 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 boom.
So
it's going to be a little loud, but I'm far enough away. I'm going to try to. Yep.
They start to shatter one by one, and each one pops with a loud boom as the light bulb explodes and shards of glass come down from each one. One of the piles of shards, coming down and landing right in between the bike and the 2 tables, and then you take out the other ones until once again the entire warehouse is dark with night.
Night vision kicked on. Grab my boomerang if I can. Is the floor dirt?
No, it's like a newer glossy asphalt, like you would find in a new garage.
Okay. Wow, interesting. So I go toward the tables after I grab my boomerang, looking to the left, to the right. I'm waiting for something to pop out, heading. So that bike is on the other side of the tables, correct?
Yes.
Okay, heading toward the tables. Just going to glance, see what's on it. If once I can identify it, I'm moving on to the bike.
So as you walk through the tables, on one table you see two briefcases, kind of briefcases, between like a briefcase and a suitcase, just a large container. It has a handle on the top of them. They're both closed and they have like shoulder straps kind of just dangling off the side. They're placed very orderly on these tables. They're not just there. On the other table, you see decorated all around it a very expensive looking modern alloyed Kevlar MDC suit that is strangely fashioned after your own mask and that sort of stuff. Like, it looks very Nightlite-esque,
Ooh.
only it's made out of a much more powerful alloy. And just looking at it, you can tell that it has, like, on the arm sleeves, it has gadgets and grappling hooks and things like that.
Oh, gotta have this. Okay.
So you can see all sorts of gadgets and blades and things on this armor all over the arms, things like that.
I'm not the brightest, but it's like somebody gave this to me. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth. I go up to the bike. I'll see if are the keys. Is it keys? Electronic start? What does it look like?
So electronic start, it looks highly technological. It is jet black, and it's much more aerodynamic than the bike that you have now. And you can tell, while you've never driven one, and it would take some practice to get to use all of its functionality, you can tell that it's what's called a jump bike, which is capable of going very fast, but it also has rocket boosters on it. So at any given time, it can bunny hop about 100 feet up into the air.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I have some mysterious benefactor that also wishes to bring light into the darkness. All right. I look at the table again. What did I see? Anything useful on the table?
So you see the two closed suitcase briefcases, again, very orderly, right next to each other, perfectly symmetrical on the table.
Is there a note?
There's not a note.
I grab them. Is there any way I can strap them to my back? I'm taking off with this thing.
They have shoulder straps.
Okay. I'm going to put them on. Man, I wish I had utensils. I take my... I'm just trying to figure out. There's no way to mark on this. A knife. My knife. I'll just go to the table. The table's wooden, right?
Yes.
And I just say the words. I just write, "There will be light in the darkness." And I write that in there. And then I look to see if I can open the door, one of the doors, to get this thing out.
There is a door.
I'm on the bike.
Right in the center of the long wall.
I assume when I turn it on, it's not super loud. It probably runs like a hum.
It runs super quiet.
Exactly. I turn it on. Is there a video display on it at all of any sort?
It's got a full HUD. It's a very expensive piece of machinery.
Right. Nothing I could ever afford. I'm just thinking, I'm waiting for somebody knows what I'm up to. I got to find out. I hope it's on the good side. I turn it on. I'm taking off. I'm going. I'm getting out of Dodge.
So with the straps on, you get the armor together as best.
Yeah. I'm taking all the gear. This is a gift to me. Someone has handed me this. I'm flabbergasted.
Well, as you take off, again, it runs very quiet, very smooth, and you eventually make your way back to your apartment.
First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to the bar where where I heard the people talking. So the bartender gave me a clue about the warehouse, but these two guys I overheard were talking about doing criminal activity in this area, right?
Yes.
Head back to the bar real quick. I'm going to right over to that where I left my other bike. I get any miscellaneous gear off of it, leave it there, take off on this one back to that bar. I want to see if those guys are there. Well, I'll pull up. How does it look? Is it really crowded tonight?
It looks pretty dead. It is an awkward ride pack. You did have some sacks on your old bike that you could use to help carry some of the armor and things back, but it is a slow, kind of awkward ride back with the 2 suitcases strapped over your shoulders, the armor placed and kept where you can keep it.
And no identifying marks on this bike. Like
None.
it's not like Coalition or nothing like that.
Can't see it. Nope, nothing. It looks like a brand new state-of-the-art jump bike.
Okay. So I'm going to pull up to the bar. I want to note exactly where it is. Is it like there's people there? Is there enough? Is it open?
Yeah, it's right beneath your apartment. You live above the bar.
Jeez.
So the bartender has given you now 2 tips. The first one led to the first episode, and the second one has led to this.
Okay. I'm going to ride to the back, find a place where I would normally park my bike. Jeez, I've got to cover this somehow. I'll look for something that it's going to be conspicuous. I need to place this somewhere. It's too big for me to carry up steps into my apartment, right?
The bike?
Yeah.
Well,
I'm extremely strong, and my guy is.
Yeah, you could get it up there with some work. Even if it was a laborious process, you could get it up there.
I just got to figure out if that's worth it or not. How many neighbors do I have? It's going to make a lot of noise. I'm going to do something.
It's you and it's him above your apartment.
Okay. Oh, jeez. I'm going to park it under the stairs for now. Take all the gear, everything I got from the warehouse and things that I have in the bags. I'm going to take it to my room, and I'm going to go case the roof of his bar and see if there's an access point, one that I could possibly get inside, maybe get to hopefully not come into the middle of the main area, but maybe come into one of his back rooms. I got to talk to this guy.
He's easily done. You know the place inside and out. You've been there for a while. He is closing up shop just because it's been so dead. There's all sorts of drama going on outside.
Yeah.
And he's just washing up the bar. Nobody was inside.
Ricky.
He turns around.
I say, good tips, my man. How do you know?
He's washing the glass. He puts it down, and he says, "What happened?"
So now I'm wearing my mask now, full on. I'm completely in Nightlite mode, and I kind of step out and I said, "You know,
the old mask, right?"
Yes, the old mask. And I say, "You know a lot more than it seems. Not that I mind, but you don't know what kind of trouble you're going to get into helping me. I live a dangerous life, trying to bring light to the darkness."
Well, something's got to be done. This city's going to hell in a handbasket.
Well, much appreciated. If there's anything I can do for you personally, you let me know.
Gives you a little salute with his ragged hand, and then goes back to minding his affairs.
What's his name? Does he have a name?
Jarvis.
Sorry.
Off the top of my head.
That's awesome. No, I need a Jarvis. Jarvis, perfect. Superman. Oh, issue 122. No, not Superman. Iron Man. Issue 122. It's so great. I walk out almost giddy as a little kid, and I'm rubbing my hands together. This is fabulous. And so I head out the back door as normal and back up to my room, and I begin to think, what I'm wondering, what can I do about that mob? I feel like I've got to help the king. And this is me. I'm literally talking out loud to myself. I've got to help the king. I think he may not be. I got to find out how pro-coalition this guy is, because I'm really not feeling the love with the coalition. But with nothing else to go on, I guess I'm going to call it a night. But I am going to sit and look at the new gear. I'm going to test it out, see how it is. You said there's 2 cases for guns?
You don't know what's inside of them.
Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and open the first. Well, look at is there nothing funky? Like no traps or nothing, right?
Doesn't look like it.
Well, like I could tell. I open it up. What is it?
The first one, you see extra components for your armor, extra boomerangs, and you see 2 Naruni pistols. Naruni is a interdimensional weapons dealer. They're known for very powerful weapons. It's considered contraband in coalition city-states.
Perfect.
But they are very, very powerful. And those are also jet black. They have the same sort of elegant design as your jump bike and now your new set of armor, which you can tell is dramatically enhanced and improved over what you were wearing before.
Oh, wow. This is...
It has a grappling hook on one of the arms. Blades that fire out the side. One of them looks like it has some sort of little cannon on the wrist. And there are Wolverine blades that are retractable.
Oh, snick. Oh, this is really good. I am okay. I checked. Is that checking both cases altogether?
That's the first case.
I take the second case, open it up.
The second case was much later now that you have them individual. And as you open the second one up, you just see a bunch of files stacked on top of each other inside.
Ooh. I just kind of peeked through the first one. What do I see?
So as you open up the first file, the first thing that you see as you go through it, it looks like very detailed information on a magic gang operating inside the city of Greyhop.
Magic. Can't have that. Absolutely not. I sit down and read that file. I ignore the others. I want to see what's going on.
Very detailed information about this group called the Arcane. What they do, they are involved in smuggling through teleportation and opening rifts and bringing all sorts of contraband into the city. And it has a pretty detailed layout of their hierarchy and where they operate. And then as you make your way through the other files, just at a glance, you start to notice that they are all the same thing. They are thorough breakdowns on all of the magic criminal activity happening in Greyhop.
How did I get such good friends? I'm perplexed indeed, but very, very pleased. I'm going to hide these and keep them a safe spot as I can. Maybe a floorboard under my bed, perhaps. I know that's kind of obvious. That's where we'll go tonight. I'm too excited about this. I have to get the weapons out. I have to try a little practice with them. So the apartment may get a little messed up. I'm not going to shoot any guns, but I am going to mess with the blades and see what I can do and see how it feels and just try that new armor out. And I'm going to practice with this thing to get comfortable. I know tonight I'm not going to get much done, but this is a great tool.
Well, as the city of Greyhop is immersed in mobs and riots and all sorts of political activity, you spend the night in your new set of armor, which even putting it on has this sort of new armor smell. There isn't a tarnish or a blemish on it. Jet black, very advanced, and you spend the night going through your files and playing with your new toys.
Oh yeah. This is awesome. I'm going to bring light to this whole city.
Yeah, and that's all I had. That was my
that was awesome. I thought we were getting to an end. Yeah, that's one of those thought bubble issues, dude. That was so cool. I loved it.